one of the things that, and I'm trying to say this correctly because I don't want to offend anybody when I say this, especially when it comes to our culture. I was in a barbershop a while ago, and a question was posed in the barbershop. And y'all know in the barbershop and in the hair salon, all kind of questions.
Everybody talks, absolutely.
Right. Yeah. And one of the guys said, all right, AO's in the building. I was like, yeah. He was like, so, everybody, if you had an opportunity to get $50,000 cash or a conversation with Bill Gates, which one are you taking? $50,000 cash or a conversation with Bill Gates?
Ooh,
Every African-American in the building said, I'm going to get the $50,000 so I can flip the $50,000. I was the only one who said a conversation with Bill Gates.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back down to wisdom. Mm-hmm. I feel as if Black people, we don't really want the wisdom. We want the money.
Correct.
Like we don't want to, because I'm like, well, $50,000 is one time. This wisdom can teach me how to make $50 million.
But once you become successful, you realize $50,000 is not a lot of money.
They want to shine. They want to shine.
It's not a lot of money.
Yeah, it's not a lot of money.
Not in the scheme of what is really available.
Correct.
What's available to you.
Because to us, that is a lot of money.
Correct. I don't want to downplay 50 G's that can change somebody's life.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to downplay that.
In the scheme of what's available to you, you're shorting yourself if that's the goal.
If that's your goal and that's the only thing you're looking at to change your life, nah.
They got people out here who are laying on that kind. You know what I mean? Like literally eating that kind of, like literally throwing away.
That's a vacation.
That kind of money. And it's just like you have you're a son and a daughter of a king. Like you get to have access to that too. And when you said that, and I cut you off, so I'm be quick. Okay. But when you said that, I just thought about Solomon. God asked Solomon, "What do you want?" And he said, "I want wisdom
and knowledge."
Yeah, and so in exchange for that, God was impressed.
That's it.
And he said, "I'm gonna give to you." No one ever will be as wealthy as Solomon.
That's it.
Because he asked for wisdom.
And I asked that question because do you all feel as if education is lacking within the African-American community?
I think education, so there's two things, right? Knowing your history is big on me.
Yeah.
Knowing your history, knowing where you came from, know what we've been through, know what we have already created and has been taken.
Yeah.
Then you have the education of what you're trying to accomplish. Learn what you're trying to accomplish. Yeah. Don't jump into something that you have no clue about. You get eaten up.
Yeah.
So, I'm big on research until you can't research no more. You want to mitigate, as much as possible. Being an entrepreneur, you're going to lose. You're going to lose something.
Yeah.
But soften the loss. Right? Soften the loss.
Yeah.
But definitely do your homework. Do your homework.
Is education lacking? So we were having this conversation on the way over here today about a teacher who has students who have never even showed up in class. Is education lacking, or are we not taking the opportunities? Just see what I'm saying? Because I have a scholarship that I give away every year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think you talk about it in your book. Like, you can go to school for free. I think, again, we have a situation where this generation has more access
than any other generation.
Any other, generation of color for all time before. Do we have a long way to go?
Yes.
We have a long way to go. But have we come a long way?
Yes.
We've come a long way.
Yes.
And I just think it comes down to, what are you willing to do? I love Jesus and rap music.
You really do.
And what I like to say is that when you look at these rap stars, like, who have really made it, nobody is saying that it was easy.
Yeah.
And I think that, like you said, do you want it to be easy? I don't know if there's a lack, but work is required of us.
Oh, definitely.
You
need those bumps and bruises. You need them. You need the scars.
I'm going to say this in the most respectful way. And if we need to cut this out, we just need to cut it out. But God made us black for a reason.
Yeah.
And I believe that he knew we were going to endure certain things, and he knew we can endure those things with him. And I agree that the education is there. Do we have to work a little bit harder to possibly get the education? Yes. You know, because if we look at just in the city that we're in now, Williamson County compared to Davidson County is night and day.
Totally different difference. Absolutely.
But Davidson County people can still get it.
Correct.
Now, will they have to ask more questions? Will they may have to do a little bit more digging? Absolutely. But that's one of the main reasons why I left Williamson County and moved to Davidson County. So a young brother like myself can partner with you, and we're in Davidson County. We're helping out every time they come to Cupcake Collection. They're getting some kind of education. Every time they come across me, they're getting some kind of education. Since the day I moved in, someone has been asking me questions about how in the world did this young man buy that? And that's the opportunity for me to give them the education.
Absolutely.
You know, and so I feel as if, yes, we've come a long ways. Yes, we have a long ways to go, but I'm excited because you're right. My father said something to me that shook me. It was on the golf course. And I emailed you that same day. He said something that shook me. Goes back to what your mom and dad. He said, son, I'm wealthy. I was like, you what? He was like, oh, I'm wealthy. I was like, what do you mean? It was like the account, the money I have in my account today, if my mom had this in her account back then, we would not have had to do half of the things we had to do. He was like, today, I'm wealthy. And I'm looking at his account. I'm like, this ain't wealth. He was like, but to me, that's wealth. He was like, and so, son, you go be wealthy today. Like, you go do what you need to do today because you have more opportunities than what I had.
That's it.
Growing up in the 60s and the 70s with 18 siblings, all living in the same house, 600 square feet. And I'm like, so when I hear you all say that, I'm like, man, we have so much opportunity today.
Absolutely.
We can win.
Yeah.
The rising entrepreneur in the world today is a black woman. And I'm like, if a black woman can do that, a black man can do that.
Absolutely.
And I'm just excited for when my kids, y'all grandchildren, come of age. It's going to be even easier for them